Hello my loves, thanks for returning. So today I just wanted to pop in real fast and show you what I got from the Sephora VIB Rouge sale. I was able to pick up a few things that I've been eyeballing and just really wanting to try. None of it is really new except for maybe 5 things. The rest is kind of old, already been on the market. So with that being said, if you're interested in seeing what I got, stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the face products or the complexion products. I ended up getting the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation, and this is it right here. I heard that this was good. The reason that I wanted to get this is because most of my foundations are either they're matte and a few here and there are satin. I really don't have any luminous, and I heard that this was really good. And I'm sure you all already know this, but this one is the one with the little pump at the top, which is so cool. So hopefully I got the right color and hopefully that works for me. So that is that. Also, I picked up the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear. I have this already, but I decided to pick this up because the bottle that I already have is almost finished. So I decided to pick that up. I also got the same thing in the cushion, the Teint Idole Ultra Cushion, and this is the one, as you all know, where it comes in the compact like this, and I haven't even opened it yet. I'm gonna wait. I want it to stay as fresh as for as long as possible because this one has a expiration date. But anyway, you pop this open and then excuse me, and then you put it in here, and it has a little mirror right there, which is really nice. And the reason that I picked up 2 of these is because this is my absolute favorite foundation. This foundation doesn't oxidize on me. It doesn't make my allergies act up. It looks beautiful. There's no fragrance. You know, I could really go on and on, but this is, how do they say, my ride or die? That's what this is. I also picked up a Bobbi Brown highlighting powder, and the color that I picked up is Bronze Glow. And the reason that I like the Bobbi Brown highlighters is because it's really smooth. It doesn't have a lot of texture, or how do they say, finely milled, and that is why I decided to pick this one. I did use it for this look that I have on, and it's just basically, as far as color wise, it kind of reminds you of topaz, but again, the texture on these powders is so it's really fine, and it's really smooth to touch. It's really pretty, and here it is. Okay, so now moving on to eyeshadow palettes. I picked up 4 of Natasha Denona's eyeshadow palettes, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna go back when they have the sale again for the Rouge to pick up the Lila palette. So the first one that I want to show you is the Sunset, and I know you all are all familiar with this palette. So it's really pretty, as I'm sure a lot of you all have seen all on the YT. And it has the little flap right here with the names of the shadow, which I don't have a problem with. And then here are the shadows right here. These are really, really pretty. I have not used them on my eyes, so I really can't speak to how they compare to others. What I will say, as far as her Chroma Crystal shadows, they are very, very intense. When you touch them, they are not smooth to touch. They have a little bit of texture to it. What else can I say about her palettes? Her palettes, the shelf life on this one is, let me see, one moment. The shelf life is 24 months. Okay, and it is paraben free. However, this palette, her palettes contain carmine. So if you all, or if anyone out there is vegan, I'm sure you already know that you might want to leave this one alone. But it is a pretty palette. Okay, so the next palette that I picked up that I have been eyeballing is the 28 palette. This is the purple blue palette. Here it is right here. And the shelf life for this palette is 12 months. Okay. It was made in Italy, and this again, it says not tested on animals, but the palette contains carmine. Now, carmine, that is where, you know, if you're vegan, you wouldn't want to use a palette like this. However, I can't understand if you say that you're not going to be cruel to animals, but you have carmine in your palette. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense, because you had to kill that particular thing to get that ingredient in the palette. So that's just my whole thing. So that's just something that I wanted to put out there for discussion. I wanted to ask you, can a person be all about cruelty free, but then again still have an ingredient like carmine in their palette? Now, again, I understand that vegan and cruelty-free, those are two different things, but how can you be one without the other? It's like they go together. So I don't understand how people are separating that. So let me know what you think in the comments below. So let me pull it out and let you all see what it looks like. It has a faux leather cover, which is nice. I have played with this palette. It comes with a mirror right there. And again, you get another little flap with the names on it. And here are the colors. The colors are very pretty. Now, what I will say that when I swatched the colors, I didn't really have that wow factor, except for, well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably 7 colors gave me that wow factor. Now, her mattes, those are really, really beautiful. Very, very nice mattes. So I did like that. And the most pigmented color is chromatic. Now, this color right here is like unbelievable. But outside of that, you know, that's the Natasha Denona 28 palette. So I picked that one up. I also picked up her holiday palettes right here. And, you know, what drew me, or what draws me to Natasha Denona's palettes is the chroma crystals and all that. You know, I'm like, what is all that about? What, can I get that look on my eye? Now, before I get into what I think about this palette, okay, so since I've been seeing everybody's, or just about everybody's shadow pop out, even people who receive PR, some of those folks' shadows were kind of falling out. I'm thinking that's just the formula of how these are made. So the chroma crystals are really nice. It just reminds you of specks of, I don't want to say glitter, but little specks of crystal lights, and it in the light it really reflects. It's just really pretty. And she has a metallic in here as well as a matte. So the other palette is, oh, I'm sorry, this one was the this palette was the Aries, the one with the blue. Okay, and this one is the Joya palette right here. This is really pretty, and these chroma crystals, those are really pretty. This yellow right here, very pigmented. The grape is pigmented. This red, not so much, at least when I swatched it, you know, and we all know that swatches can be different from when you actually put them on your eye. So I need to do a look with this. I'm sorry. I also picked up the Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette right here. This is an old one. The reason that I got this one is not so much as to do highlighting with. It's just a little cute palette. It has a, if I get it open, it has a mirror right there, and it's got the colors. So here are the colors. So what's interesting or neat, or at least what I thought was interesting, is, you know, one of these colors, it is like blue and green and pink, even though it all looks white. So I was looking at this to be a companion palette to put over different matte shadows to kind of give that holographic look. So on Kat Von D's website, she showed where she was doing all kind of neat looks. I mean, even on the lips, like right around the rim of the lip, lining the lip at the top where the Cupid's bow is, your lid, the inner tear duct, you just all kind of beautiful things with that. All right, and the last 3 items that I got was the Pat McGrath Mothership. Now I will have to say, when I opened this, when I first opened it, it really did, it had a wow factor. Okay, so here is the this is Mothership Sublime. Excuse me. So you open the box like this, you kind of wrap it, untie it, and then it opens up like this. And inside you have a card with the names on it. A lot of people had problems with that or didn't like that. It didn't bother me. Now, what I was upset about is this box. When I got it from Sephora, it had a little damage. Is it this one? Anyway, one of my boxes had a little damage up there, and I don't, for those of you who have the palette, are you all going to keep your boxes? I'm keeping my boxes for as much money as I paid for it. Everything that came with this eyeshadow palette, I'm keeping. So I started to call Sephora and tell them that I got something that was, my box was damaged, but it's so small that you can't even notice it. But anyway, so here is the palette right here. I'm sure you all have seen it a million times. And it's got the plate, the gold plate on the back. Okay, so at the top it has Pat McGrath Labs, and this is supposed to mean that she does lips and eyes. Okay, and on the back it says, use without caution, shade throwing, and 5 ecstasy may result without prolonged use. It has, on the back, it has her logo engraved, as well as on the front, and on the back it has 18 months. However, if you look on the back of the box, some of the palettes have a shelf life of 30 months and some of them have a shelf life of 18 months. All right, and this palette was made in Italy. She does not speak to whether she is cruelty free or vegan. However, reading some of the ingredients, I could clearly see that she's not. And I'm gonna do a video where I talk about the ingredients. But anyway, so it has a bevel mirror. Okay, and then here are the shadows. They are really, really pretty. Now, I will say that when I swatched the shadows, there was no like, oh my God, this is so much different from any of the other shadows. However, with this bronze color, that is something different than what I've ever swatched. And Astral Ghost Orchid, that is so pretty. That is a beautiful color. And the VR Nectar. So these 3 right here, those are very, very nice and unique. However, the others, not so much. They're pretty, but you know, for the amount of money, I was expecting it to be mind-blowing. I was expecting to have an outer body experience. None of that. Now, when you do swatch them, they are very, very smooth, satiny. Now, that is something different, especially with this black. So, that is the Sublime palette. Now, this is the one where I was talking about my box was kind of messed up. This is the, which palette is this one? This is the Subversive palette, and you know, on the inside right here, yeah, right there. Yeah, you can't see it, but I can see it. It's torn, and right there is bent. But anyway, it is what it is. So this is the Subversive palette. Again, it's got the beveled mirror, and here are the shadows right here. Very, very pretty. You know, as far as any of the shadows being mind-blowing and earth-shattering, you know, possibly, what color is that? All right, possibly Gigabyte and VR Pink. And of course, these Astral Ghost Orchids, those are some really, really pretty colors. So, you know, but you know, I have to use the palette to see how it applies. But as far as swatching, you know, outside of those textured finishes, there's no real wow factor. At least to me, it wasn't. And the colors are, they are pretty, okay? Now, is it worth the money? I think a lot of what you're paying for with these palettes is the person who made the palette, and you're paying for the beveled mirror and the fancy case. Now with these shadows, some of like the Gigabyte, or was it the bronze, that gold color in the Sublime palette, I was reading that with some of these textures that she actually combined the ingredient, or the, how do you put it, the recipe for a particular shadow, like of 8 different shadows, just to come up with one shadow, because she was saying that during her shows, you know, the designers would want this or that, or want something special. So what she would do is she would take a combination of different formulas to make her own special formulas. Also, she was saying with these palettes that the colors were inspired from different shows that she has done over her lifespan, and that's why you have this these certain colors, and that explains it. That explains the how some of them don't seem to go a little bit. I did see where some YouTubers were like, why did she pick this color? And how come she didn't pick this color? Well, there is a method to her madness. She said that the colors in this palette are colors that she has actually used in previous shows. So that makes sense. Okay, and I think that's really cool to do. So anyway, and here is the Subliminal palette. This is the one that has the blue, and you get another astral color. Now black is in all of the palettes. Some people were complaining about black being in all of the palettes, and I can understand why she would put black in all of the palettes, because, you know, not everybody is gonna buy the pair. You know, she did offer the whole set. You can buy all of them from her website for just $300 to take off $75. But that's just for the people that wanted all 3. Not everybody's gonna want all 3, and I can understand why she doubled up on some of the colors, because you know, everybody can benefit. Everybody will be able to benefit from the black, you know, whereas, you know, I bought all 3. You know, if there was just one black, then I could benefit from it. But if somebody wanted a black and they didn't, in Subversive, then they would just kind of be stuck out. So anyway, you know, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. But anyway, oh, okay. And then here's the bag. Here's the Sephora, the Sephora bag. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look at my collection, and I think that I want to start like a little series called Watch Me Dupe It, because a lot of this stuff, a lot of these colors, you know, it can be duped. I know you all already know that. The blues, the golds, the this, the that. The only thing that you might be, that you wouldn't be able to dupe is the texture. But does the texture really matter if you get the same look? You know, I don't know. Tell me what you think. But I really want to do that, because I was looking in a lot of the shadows. Like this, there's a green in one of these palettes. This green right here. Okay. That green. So there is a color that I have in my collection that is the same kind of sparkly. It's just the same, and I'm thinking, and that shadow that I have it's a L'Oreal Infallible something, and I think I paid $9 for that single shadow, and it's like, you know. So anyway, I think that I'm going to do that, and it's just gonna be quick, and you know, it's gonna be called Watch Me Dupe It. Because, you know, it would be, you know, I hate for people to think that, oh, I don't have that particular palette, so I can't get that look. You know, now for a makeup artist, we know that that's not true, but for the everyday person, you know, they might not know. So that type of video would be for that everyday person. So anyway, if you all have made it to the end, I so appreciate it. And until my next video, smooches.